In this video, we're going to be breaking down the top reasons why your dog won't respond to a cue or command without using treats. I know this is a really common problem. We're going to solve it coming up. What's up guys, it's Jenna with Dog Liaison, where I coach you on how to enhance your dog's mental health, and on this channel we break down scientific research in order to inform us and educate us on the best ways to train dogs. If you're like me and you like breaking down canine cognition, make sure you hit subscribe. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure you hit like as well. Let's get into it. So today we are talking about one of the most common problems dog owners run into when they're training their dog, regardless of what they're trying to train. Many times people find that they cannot do a behavior or get a behavior from their dog without using treats, without even having a treat in their hand. That the second that you have the treat in your hand, your dog looks at you and goes, I'm not doing that until I see the food, right? Let's break that down a little bit, because there are a lot of different things that could be going on there. And one of the most common problems that I see is that the dog has been lured into the behavior too many times. Now, luring is the idea that you're putting the treat up to the dog's nose or in front of the dog's eyes in some capacity and using that treat to get the action. So for example, if you're doing sit, you might push the treat over their head, or if you're doing a down, you might drag the treat down to the floor, right? That action is called luring. And if you don't know already, luring can cause a lot of problems, and I don't usually recommend it. You can check out this video for alternatives like capturing, shaping, and targeting to using a lure, because there are other methods, other techniques to get a behavior that do not require dragging the treat to the floor or whatever. If you are using a lure, I really recommend that you fade it out. Fading can be done through capturing or shaping or targeting, that's possible, but it also can be done through a little process of hiding the treat and doing little things like that. Now, I do not have a video on how to fade out a lure, and I'll be completely honest, the reason I don't have a video on how to fade out a lure is because I don't promote that as a solution. I promote capturing, shaping, and targeting as a solution, okay? So if you're looking to fade out a lure, I really recommend you YouTube that. There are a lot of other wonderful videos, and it's just not going to be found on my channel. Okay, so let's say maybe you're not running into a luring issue. Maybe you have captured, shaped, targeted. Maybe you've never even lured your dog whatsoever to do anything. So that's not the issue. Maybe you have your marker as yes, your timing is impeccable even, right? And you're like, Jenna, that's not the problem I'm running into. Then what that tells me is that your dog is not understanding trade and comparable trade. So to digress for just a moment, you absolutely always need to be trading your dog. You need to always have a comparable trade. And that is that depending on how hard your dog is working will dictate how high or valuable you reward him. So if you don't understand the different rankings of treats, I did a whole video on that, and I recommend you check it out, because there definitely are high, medium, low value treats, and you need to have that list. You need to know, if my dog has been doing the same behavior for a while, I need to be fading into a lower value treat. If you're constantly paying high for the exact same behavior that they've been doing over and over and over again, and every single time they do it, they're still getting paid $100 for it, then they think that that's how it goes. They think that every time they do a sit, they get $100 for it. Unless you start to go, okay, well, sometimes you only get $80, and sometimes you only get $75, and sometimes you only get $50, and sometimes you only get $30. And when I'm saying dollars, I really am just comparing that to like a value of treat. I mean, I use dollars as sort of like the analogy to kind of help the human mind, but really we're talking about and how valuable is the treat. So again, highly recommend you check out that video so that you can figure out your individual dog's treat value system. The key is to make sure that you are trading your dog. You will never ask your dog to work for free. I know we want to ask our dog to work for free, but we shouldn't be asking our dog to work for free. And the reason is because the more your dog gets used to working for free, the more he's gonna resent you. Your dog doesn't want to have to go to work every day and not get paid just as much as you don't want to have to go to work and get paid every day. So if you start doing that regularly, he's going to start to say, hey, you know what? This is not cool. I don't like that I'm giving you so much and getting so little in return. And I know that we want to think that our love and compassion for the dog is sufficient enough of a reward. Is this sufficient enough of a reward for you to work for your boss? I mean, if you went to work tomorrow and your boss was like, you know what? I'm not going to give you cash anymore, but it's okay because I like you. You're cute. You've got a great personality. You make me laugh. I just adore you, but I'm not going to give you money. Are you really going to continue to work for that guy for free? Maybe for a day or two, and then you're going to be like, okay, our friendship is not valuable enough for me to put in this much effort and get so little in return. The other thing is that sometimes you don't necessarily need to be using treats. Sometimes you absolutely need to be using other forms of reinforcement. Now, the other forms of reinforcement that people think of tend to be toys. That's what everyone goes to, is like, well, if it's not a treat, it's a toy. But guys, reinforcement just means something the dog likes. It can literally be anything. Anything the dog likes is a reinforcer, it's a reward. So we need to be thinking much broader than just treats and toys. Now in a second, I'm going to give you an example of some of these other forms of reinforcers that you can be using. I'm going to get to that in a second. But before that, I want to give you guys a strategy, a technique that you can start implementing right now in order to be able to start using other reinforcers outside of treats and outside of bribing. So what I want you to do is grab a paper, and I want you to scribble down every single thing that your dog likes in no particular order. Do not do this in order yet. You are just, as they come to your mind, I want you to write them down. So things that your dog likes could be, he likes putting the leash on. That makes him happy. It could be that there's a particular bush in your neighborhood that you know your dog loves smelling on walks. It could be that your dog really enjoys a particular puzzle game. And whenever you bring out this food puzzle or this brain game, your dog gets really happy. It could be that your dog likes to walk through the doorway. That threshold is very exciting. And as soon as he walks through the doorway, he knows he's going to go for a walk or for a car ride or whatever, right? It could be that your dog loves car rides. I want you to write down every single thing that your dog loves that is not food. So it might be a game that includes food, like you could say, my dog likes Find It, but you're not necessarily thinking about the specific food you're giving, okay? And I just want you to scribble it down. Now you should have at minimum 20, 25 things, but if not, have like 50, 75 things, because all you're doing is writing down everything your dog loves. Once you have that sheet full of a bunch of scribbles of things that your dog likes, now it's time to prioritize them. If you're able to literally put them in precise order, by all means, homie, knock yourself out, do that, put them in order, go for it, okay? But if it helps you to just categorize them and say, like, these are high rewards, these are medium rewards, these are low rewards, that works too, okay? But you should have a very nuanced, specific idea of your dog's reinforcers. Now that you have that list prioritized, you have that list in order, now it's time to start thinking of ways that you can integrate those reinforcements into your dog's practical life. One of the issues that I see when it comes to, I want my dog to sit, but he won't do it right now because I don't have a treat. One of the issues with that moment is that it is in the moment. There's not a whole lot of planning. The human usually is not thinking, how do I work around this? What is a strategic way to get my dog to do this? Why? Because they're usually on a time frame. I need my dog to sit to go through the doorway. I need to go to here. I need to do this. Time is of the essence, right? It's in the moment, and so therefore it's less time, or it's more time sensitive, yeah? So the purpose of thinking now with your sheet is that you are planning for those moments. So I want you to think of the times in real time that you would need a behavior from your dog. You could think of the case of like with the bush on the street, right? You know that as you're walking towards that bush on the street, there happens to be a curb. And by that curb, you need your dog to sit before you can cross the street. okay? Then you need to think, I'm gonna ask for my sit over here on the corner of the street and use my yes marker and then immediately reward him by taking him to that bush, right? Or whatever makes sense within the context. But that's an example. I want you to think of real life scenarios that you would need a cue, and then take one of the reinforcers from that list and apply it directly to it. So I want you to do that activity right now, and then I want you to comment below and tell me some of the things that you realized you could use as a reward that you didn't end up initially thinking about. I want you to write down in the comments some of the real life circumstances that make your dog happy that now you're gonna start using as a reward. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like. If you enjoyed my content, make sure you hit subscribe. I post videos twice a week. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you get notified when those videos get posted, and I'll see you guys soon.